Yeah, we tried to close the book on it yesterday, and just we rewatched it a couple times again, and just had it clipped out a little bit, video standpoint. It wasn't very physical yesterday. Some guys, it was nothing for them physically yesterday, and then today we had a normal kind of 2-day before game practice. It's going to be the hardest practice that we'll have, leading into the game. So I think we got a lot done today.
How many times have you, I know I've seen it probably 50 times just by accident. How many times have you seen that replay over?
Oh, wow. When I wasn't responding to a text message or someone calling me, between Saturday and Sunday, it was quite a bit. I obviously watched Colorado and UCLA on Sunday, watched our game with UCLA as well, our first matchup. So I've got a chance to get a lot of that done, but yeah, my house, we watched it. There was one that was great that had the Titanic music, and I enjoyed that one the most, I think, of any that I saw.
Is there an emotional benefit from something like that carries through, or do you have to be careful about not having down moments? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think time is going to tell. I mean, we kind of laid out what was at stake, this week and how big a week it is. So hopefully, trying to reinforce that message to them, and they didn't appear to be a team that wasn't hungry or content in how we practice, but that will surface really, when the ball goes up on Thursday night.
And then, I mean, you talked defense all year, played obviously a solid performance, but the start you got off to on offense, I mean, I know you've been talking about saying that, tell them to keep shooting, but kind of more of the start you're looking for. What'd you see there? Yeah,
I was excited to see multiple guys have the ball go through the basket, especially in that environment where you want to try and generate confidence, and we knew that the 60s was not going to be good enough against a team as potent on offense as Arizona is, and so to see DJ make shot early, Dez hit a couple, Warren just we had really got us off to a good start scoring the basketball, and I thought our bench was awesome with the way Jemiah Neal played. It was his best game as a Sun Devil, and I think Gaffney was really good too. On defense, had a big time putback, hit a couple of big threes.
What's the status of Austin Nunez for this week?
Austin's still going through the protocol, and it's too early to rule him in, to say he's in or rule him out. But he's he's working as hard as he can. It's not as cut and dry as like some other injury stuff that you go through, so you're kind of treading lightly. So he's did more today than he did yesterday, and we'll just continue to progress him.
Coach, given a reverse scenario of the exact same situation, would you have your player make that foul shot, or would you have him miss that going forward if you were in the same spot?
Yeah, I don't want to play that game, that second guess of what someone else does or chooses to do in that situation. I don't think it's fair to really judge what happened there, and that's all. I'm just going to avoid answering that, if that's okay.
How much has the belief changed amongst this team, knowing that March Madness is much more tangible this time around compared to what it looked like a week ago, excuse me?
Yeah, we have never been deterred. I mean, we had a bad, poor stretch where we lost to some good teams here with the LAs, and then couldn't get it done in overtime at Washington, and ran into a good Washington State team. So we caught a tough stretch there, and then the Colorado loss was a tough one, but they're a good team. Our league isn't appropriately respected, in my opinion, and you could go ask a couple of SEC teams how good Colorado is, for example. But we feel like we were doing well the whole way. People threw us off the bubble immediately and stuff, which is fine, and we just keep plugging along and keep trying to attack all these games.
And obviously having these two games as far as strength of schedule, furthering your cause is huge, as opposed to maybe like in Oregon that's got two weaker teams. You can really, state your case.
Yeah, I mean, it's back-to-back two top 10 teams. It's certainly a big ask. UCLA's undefeated at home, and they're terrific. They're a veteran team. They're experienced. They have clutch guys, Jaquez and Tiger that can make shots. They're very well coached. They're so they check a lot of boxes. They're an elite team, and we have our work cut out for us Thursday night. But you're right. It's we talk about these as opportunities. They're their chances to dramatically, change, our season in a couple hours.
And what do you take away from the first game against UCLA? I mean, obviously not giving away the game plan, but things that you picked up on and noticed, I mean, that you guys can take into this game.
Yeah, watching the first game again, we struggled, and both teams had a hard time scoring early in that game, and we both caught a little bit of a boost offensively late in the half, and I watched Dez shoot off that right leg again. We're going right into the half there. It looked like the exact same shot. It was crazy watching that, and but then the second half, I thought we had a chance to make a run, get a little separation, and we did. But they made the big plays when it mattered, like the last 4 or 5 minutes of that game. And so, I would say that we were really good and playing at a high level for about 35 minutes, and we just we weren't able to close it.
Can you recall a game like U of A this weekend that had that much excitement all the way through?
It was one of the best games that I've been a part of, as a coach, just in terms of quality of play, and that's why this morning I on my radio show I equated it to felt like an Elite 8 type of game, and I've been in those games as a player, and it just had all the classic playmaking, the athleticism, we had to pick our poison out there because they have elite big men in the paint and guys that were making shots. So it was just a treacherous game to navigate. But it was such a great feeling as a competitor and to be a part of a game that was that special. It's probably in my top 5 moments of anything, playing and coaching.
Bobby, have you asked Des why he goes off the right foot for this?
I was trying to get him, and my mind races nonstop. So it's like I had it where I was going to bring it up to him today, and I was kind of got sidetracked, something else. But I'll make sure I ask that question because it is unique. It's especially for a right-handed shooter. Your dominant leg is your left leg. It's more usual to do that. But I'm not going to change. I'm going to allow him to keep doing it.
Is momentum a real thing? Do you think going from the win you guys just had to finish off the season, would you say it's a real thing, or how do you perceive that moving forward with the team?
I mean, there was something magical that happened there, and that's just one game, and it's just now the grit, the resiliency to do something special like that has got to give you a boost of confidence, knowing that you can compete at a team of that caliber and beat a team like that. It's worth continuing to try and get better, to continue to be ready for those type of battles. And those are all the teams that you're going to see at the very end, whether it's a conference championship game or a chance to go to a Sweet 16 or a Final Four. Those are the teams you have to beat. So to win a game like that gives us, I think, a confidence boost.
These algorithms look at games in November and December in non-conference to determine how good conferences are. Do you think that is a fair thing, or what's your perception of that, given what you said about the Pac-12?
Well, I just think that the really good teams in our league are being punished for maybe the bottom of our league not being as strong, and I don't think that that's appropriate. Arizona handled their business in the non-conference. UCLA did. We were 9-2 and had big wins. USC had a couple big. I mean, the top teams that are in contention right now, handled their business. And then there are other teams that just get better. Like Oregon always gets better. They're young. They have new guys. You have Washington State that dealt with all kinds of injuries, and now they're a different team. So teams improve and get better. So you should not hold that against a conference. And I think it's unfortunate because we have some really quality teams that belong in postseason in this league.
One thing that struck me when I watched the game on replay was how poised your guys were, and they seemed completely unfazed by the atmosphere, and even when they got down by 10. So obviously the same atmosphere probably close at Pauley.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta roll up your sleeves in those environments, and you have to be, you got to be tough. You got to be mentally tough. You got to deal with a lot of adversity, and they did. And we've been down in games, so it wasn't uncharted territory for these guys. They know how to win a game that we're not winning.
Coach, you brought up the disrespect for the conference. UCLA and Arizona, top 10. They're getting respect. Why is it that they're not giving it to the rest of the conference? Do you have a
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, we in my own case, I mean, everyone could, have their own opinions about other teams, but I don't know what more we could look to do. Our scheduling philosophy was to go find some games that were high-level games in the non-conference. We went on the road quite a bit. We lost the quad 4 in our third game, but it was our first game, without Marcus Bagley, and we're on the road, so chances are things like that can happen in a road game. But we have quality wins against really good teams on neutral courts and on the road. We have a ton of road victories. I mean, that's what I thought that. And again, I'm not in a committee room. I'm just talking about projected bracketology and our metrics. So, not sure why. Can't answer that.